Okay. So, in this video we will discuss a very popular topic briefly. We are calling this event, very popular historic event, as Dandi March or Salt March, right. So, the heading would be Dandi March. We are also calling it Salt Satyagraha or Salt March. Dandi March or Salt March, 1930. Fine. Right. So, Dandi March or Salt March, and you all know that civil disobedience movement started with this Dandi March. And this march, what we call Dandi March, is considered as one of the most important event, right, in Indian struggle for independence. It was unprecedented in the history of political protest, right, and it actually rejuvenated Indian nationalism. It actually eroded the legitimacy of the British rule. Fine. So, this Dandi March is a very important event in the history of modern India. Who started this Dandi March? Simon Commission. After that Simon Commission, there was, you can say, new atmosphere, and after that new atmosphere you have Lahore session. And in Lahore session, I told you that now Gandhiji was given the command that now you have to decide, and finally Gandhiji decided. So, who launched this movement? Gandhiji. Who launched this march? Who was the brain behind this march? Gandhiji. Fine. So, this Dandi March began, right, this Dandi March began on 12th March 1930 and it ended on 6th April 1930. So, around 24 days, right, and Gandhiji walked from the Sabarmati ashram to Dandi, from Sabarmati ashram to Dandi, around 385 kilometer. Sometimes they can give you 390 kilometer. So, 385 to 390 kilometer. Fine. These are some details you have to remember, right. Dandi March started, right, or began on 12th March and it ended on April 6, 24-day march, right, and Gandhiji walked from the Sabarmati ashram to Dandi to break the law. It was around 385 to 390 kilometer. Is it fine? And what we have to remember, that this Dandi March, it was a non-violent means, right, non-violent means of protest against the repressive salt law, repressive salt tax, right. So, it was a non-violent means of protest, right, against the salt law, right. And right, what is the most important feature of this Gandhian innovation, right, or you can say the experiment, that people from all caste, people from all religion and people from all region, I am repeating, people from all caste, people from all religion and people from all region participated in this, and therefore, this Dandi March was a symbol of inclusive national movement. I hope you are getting it. So, if in case they are asking the significance of it, so this symbolized what? right, the inclusive national movement. So, you will see in your textbook that there were around 78 participant. In some book they will say 79. Have you seen that? So, if they will ask you that number of you can say participant, so 78 or 79, right, 70 or 79 volunteers. So, Gandhiji along with this group of 78 or 79, but thousands of people joined, thousands of people joined. But I am indicating, they can ask you that there was no, suppose a Muslim, there was no Christian, but you will realize that all the, you can say all the religion, caste, region represented, right. So, there were Muslims, there were Christian, there were Hindus, right. So, you will see that different people from different party, you can say area. So, 78 to 79 participant, this you have to remember, fine. So, some important details you have to remember. What all details about Dandi March? 12th March to 6th April 1930, 24 days. Then you will see that it was a protest, right, it was a kind of protest march and 78 to 79 participant, but later thousands of people joined. And always remember, this march was phenomenal. Why? Because it garnered huge public support and there was worldwide attention. So, in that sense, this Dandi March was very important, fine. So, this small brief idea about Dandi March you can remember. They can ask you question related to Dandi March, because right, last 1-2 years you can see that there are many news regarding this Dandi March. So, what kind of question they can ask you? They can ask you circumstances leading to Dandi March. They can ask you what was the purpose of Dandi March. Purpose of Dandi March. They can ask you what was the contribution of Dandi March. And they can also ask that what was the result of Dandi March, right? What was the result of Dandi March? So, this kind of question they can ask you about Dandi March. You should think about it, right? So, Dandi March, right, it was a very important event in our history, right, and it actually paved way for, created background for civil disobedience movement.